Yo, what's up, bros? Welcome back to another video. My name's Jake. Today I'm gonna be doing a little kind of Borderlands 3 quick start guide, basically all the information that you need to know before the game comes out Friday. Some of the things I'm gonna be going over, I'm gonna start with going over the launch times, the release times for the game. It's a little bit tricky on PC, but on console it's pretty straightforward. Also gonna go over the pre-download information, and lastly I'm gonna go over the PC specifications. So let's get started, shall we, bros? Alright guys, so as far as the release times go, for console, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. All you need to know is that whenever the clock hits midnight in your local time zone, you will be able to play. Yo, what's up guys? Quick little insert here in the video, a little editing note I needed to make. When I was going through editing the video, I noticed that I totally goofed on the console release times. I was a little inaccurate on the information, so I wanted to make sure that I correct that real quick. So I'm putting this in the video real quick. I'm gonna throw a picture up on the screen here so you guys can see the visual. So the only place that it doesn't release midnight is in the US if you're on any time zone besides Eastern time. So if you're in the US and you're on Central Time, Mountain Time, or Pacific Time, it's gonna release, you'll still be able to play the game once it's midnight on the East Coast. So for Central Time Zone, that's 11 o'clock Thursday night. For Mountain Time, that's 10 o'clock Thursday night. And if you're on the West Coast, like in California or something, if you're on Pacific Time, that's 9 o'clock for you. So again, sorry for the little insert I had to make here, but I wanted to make sure that I got the information right. So enjoy the rest of the video, bros. So if you're playing on PC, the game is going to be available for everyone worldwide once it is midnight based on the British summer time zone, which is the time in London. So if we're converting that, for me, I live in the East Coast. If we're converting that to East Coast time, we are 5 hours behind the BST time zone. Once the clock strikes midnight in the UK, it is actually only going to be 7 p.m. here on the East Coast. So that means at 7 p.m. tomorrow, which is Thursday night, you'll be able to play Borderlands 3 on the East Coast. For you guys on the West Coast that are on Pacific time zone, it's even better because that time, midnight in UK, translates to 4 p.m. over on the West Coast. So you guys on the West Coast will be able to play the game at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So all you guys, when y'all get off school and work tomorrow, y'all be able to start playing some Borderlands 3. I myself have to work Thursday night till 1 a.m. So I'm not going to be playing until early Friday morning. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to throw that image up on the screen for you guys so y'all can see a visual of all the different times that it's releasing. And just look for your time zone and you'll be able to see what time it's going to be releasing for you. So the minimum specs for PC, as far as the CPU goes, they're recommending an FX 8350 or an Intel i5 3570. For RAM, just 6 gigs of RAM, so that's not bad at all. This isn't that heavy of a game to run, so most of you guys should be perfectly fine, even if you're playing on an outdated system. For your GPU, they're recommending a GTX 680. For the AMD side, they're recommending a Radeon HD 7970. The minimum VRAM for your graphics card needs to be at least 2 gigs, so I mean, even if you guys are playing on a 2 gig 1050 in a laptop, you'll be fine. Now for the recommended specs, I'm assuming this is to be able to play at 1080p 60 FPS. They're recommending a Ryzen 5 2600 or a i7 4770 on the Intel side. For your RAM, they're actually recommending 16 gigs, which is kind of surprising. I figured they would maybe just recommend 12 gigs since the minimum is 6. But who knows? I'm sure it's still not going to eat up that much of your RAM. We'll have to see once the game comes out. And the biggest part, again, your graphics card, they're recommending a GTX 1060 or on the AMD side, a Radeon RX 590. So again, not that heavy of specs. Even if you have a 1050 or 1050 Ti, you should be able to run the game fine. They're only recommending 3 gigs of VRAM. So I know a 1050 Ti has 4 gigs of VRAM. So even if you have that, that should be able to get the job done for you just fine. And lastly, I almost forgot about this one, the pre-download information. So I know when the game was first announced on the Epic Store, there's a lot of iffiness on how pre-downloading would work. For the longest time, they said the game's not going to be eligible for pre-download, but recently they did say you will be able to download the game on the Epic Store up to 2 days before launch. I'm assuming it's the same on console. So actually, as I'm recording this video right now, I'm currently at 67% on the install for Borderlands 3. So if you want to go ahead and get that installed, it's a 55 gig game on PC. I'm sure it's going to be about the same on console. Fire up your console, load up the Epic Game Store on your PC, and go ahead and get that downloaded. And lastly, just a quick little note that I want to put in here. NVIDIA actually just released yesterday a driver update, and in that driver update is support for Borderlands 3. So make sure you go ahead and get those game ready drivers so you'll be ready to go with Borderlands 3 and you won't run into any issues in the graphics department. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's going to be a lot of Borderlands content coming to the channel. You're not going to want to miss it. And if you really enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps me out more than you think. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.